Hi, this is Jeff, and today I want to share a project I'm working on, which is a Japanese technique called Shou, and it is traditionally to use cedar boards to char them and to use those charred boards as the exterior siding for a house. And aesthetically, it looks really nice. It's more resistant to rot and to bugs, and it's really easy to do. And so I'll walk you through the few steps that I'm going to take to bring this to fruition. And the first step is to get some cedar. In my case, I had a couple of trees fall over on my property and had a friend mill them into rough cut 1x6 boards. If you're going to the hardware store, the cedar has already been dried through a kiln. But in my case, it hasn't. It's just air drying in my shop. And I'll show you on a moisture meter that these are a little bit too wet to install, 15 to 20%. Ideally, I want closer to about 10%. But that being said, I can still go ahead and torch these boards today. I also have to wet them to go ahead and brush off some of the excess material, which I'll show you. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the process, and then after it's done, these will sit here and dry for hopefully another 6 months to a year. So with that, come on over and I'll show you how the torch works. Before I get to burning, I want to walk through a few things really quickly. The first is that I have put these cedar boards on 2x4s to burn them. Do not use pressure treated wood. That will give off all sorts of nasty chemicals you don't want to breathe. Make sure you put the cedar on non-pressure treated wood. When you put the boards down, you can select either side, whichever side looks aesthetically nicer to you. I have a hose handy for safety, and it'll also come in handy later when I brush down the boards and I use the water. Wear better shoes than flip-flops, don't use me as an example. And I'll explain lastly the technique that I'm going to use because the torch is too loud, I can't explain it when it's running. And I find that when I use the torch and I put it at a 45-degree angle, it works the best. I'm using a propane torch to char the boards. This is not the traditional Japanese method. However, it is effective and it's easy, and it's what I'm going to do today. So first step is to light up the torch. Torching the boards is fairly straightforward. I find that it works really well to hold that propane torch at a 45-degree angle and torch the face of the board and the sides of the board, starting with one side and then working to the other side. And in this video, I did 5 boards in a batch, but I found that 8 boards in a batch works really well if you're using 2x4x8 planks to hold them up on the sides. And you just want to make sure and get everything, both the face of the board and the sides of it, so that the entire surface is torched. I've gone ahead and wet down these boards to let them cool a little bit, and also I'm going to start brushing them with a really firm brush to get some of the top part removed. Some folks like it just the way it is, and it works great just the way it is, but aesthetically I want to brush some of the soot off the top of these to reveal some of the texture and the grain underneath, and I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. I'm finished for the day and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And I want to show you the final result behind me. There's about 110 boards in total. And I'd say they take on average about 5 minutes a piece to do. The propane, you go through quite a bit of propane. I'd say probably 20-25 gallons to torch this. So that is a consideration. I really like taking the brush and brushing off the soot. Some folks prefer leaving that charred surface, but I really wanted to bring out a little bit more character of the boards underneath. One of the surprises that I didn't expect is that the moisture content of the boards did not substantially decrease by torching them. And this is all rough cut cedar that was milled a few months ago. And so the moisture content is still fairly high in them. For that reason, I'm gonna let them sit because I don't want to install them and then have them shrink on me. So hopefully by late summer, I'll be able to take these out to my off-grid cabin and put them up as siding. But yeah, really happy with how it all came out and just excited to get started, hopefully sooner than later, in putting them up and seeing the final result. And I'll make a video of that as well when I get to that point. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.